it's because you could still look like.
But ultimately, if you don't make it into the playoffs, all those points to me, like that's just my opinion. Obviously, all those points aren't valuable. Hall's 98 points or 88 points or whatever. They're valuable.
Yeah, he
pushed his team into the playoffs. McKinnon's points, they're valuable. He single-handedly pushed his team into the playoffs when it counted. Yeah, that's the way I look at it, and that's just one guy's opinion.
Yeah.
And like there's no denying that McDavid is the most valuable player to Edmonton. I just don't know if he's the most valuable player to his team in the league this year.
I don't know.
You can disagree, Scott.
You
can look at it two different ways.
That's my opinion.
But it depends where the team is in the.
Oh, and that's just it. It's most valuable to your team as a whole. I think McDavid's the most valuable to his team, but I don't think he was as big of an impact this year.
And that's
as you like you said, Taylor Hall and Nathan McKinnon I think are 1-2.
Would we be talking different and say Edmonton was actually legit in the race to the very end? Just
I think
say they were in St. Louis' spot, for example.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I think he'd be probably the winner.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I was just wanting to see what you guys said if I switched
for
that
sure.
around.
And that's I guess that's the key word is the impact.
Yeah.
See, that's the only difference. Yeah, like if
it's not McDavid's fault that he played on a poor team either. So I don't want to take anything away from him. It's just in my opinion, the points matter more if you get your team into the postseason.
But what would you say? Well, I've heard Pecorine could win it as an outside. That's an outside runner as a goalie. Yeah. You think a goalie would win it over those guys? Probably not this year.
Not this.
If it was a weaker year.
If it was a lower scoring year, then yes. But I don't think this.
Well, all the great goalies, Vasilevsky, Pecorine, Connor Hellebuck, all these guys are on great teams already.
Yeah,
that's true. Where Price that one year, the only reason they were anywhere was.
But that's going like kind of counterintuitive against my argument, right? Saying they're on great teams because then McDavid should win it because he was on a poor team and he still put up 106 points. And that's hard to ignore that. So it's like Scott said, there's definitely you can look at it from 5 different angles. And
the definition is a little fuzzy.
Yeah, yes, it is. And historically,
who
one guy has won the Hart Trophy when his team didn't make the playoffs? I believe.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think Mario Lemieux is the only one.
Oh, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So to me, that makes the definition mean that your points have to mean something, and you have to.
So you're saying the odds are against McDavid?
Yeah. Yes.
If you're going by those stats.
Yes, that's what I'm going by is going by that.
And I think the big word that's been thrown on here is impact. The guy who's made the biggest impact to his team this year, and I mean, again, you could say McDavid has made the biggest impact to his team because without him there, they would be garbage. But
I don't have the stats for this, but I pretty sure McDavid. If you check the stats, McDavid is probably in on more of his team's goals than any of those guys.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't have stats to back that up, but at
one point McKinnon was leading in that.
I
don't know what it ended up being, but I know at one point McKinnon was leading. He had the most points on his team's goals.
But see, I don't know if this trophy so much comes down to points, though. Do you know what I mean? There's an Art Ross for that, so it's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then you have two trophies. You have the Hart Trophy, and then you have the Ted Lindsay Trophy. I mean, and 90% of the time they go to the same guy. Do you see them going to different people this year? Could one go one way, one go the other way? Because correct me if I'm wrong. One's decided by the league, one is decided by managers or players.
Well, there's the
Ted Lindsay.
Ted Lindsay.
That's the one that's voted on by
the players. And I believe the Mark Messier award is voted by something else. It's a leadership award too. But there is nominations for the Messier one though.
But I don't know. It's that's a hard one because if you look at the definition of being most valuable to their team, you could be talking about Patrice Bergeron. You could be talking about William Karlsson. Right?
It could go on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
Yeah.
You could really pick one guy off of each team that could be nominated for the Hart Trophy, right? It's
Well, you got...
depending on what you're looking at.
By definition, the Ted Lindsay Award is NHL's most outstanding player as selected by the members of the NHLPA.
Okay.
And, see if I can find it on the piece of paper.
That one McDavid could win.
The Hart Trophy is awarded to the player judged to be the most valuable to his team. So kind of probably judged by the league. Or the other ones that judged by the NHLPA.
I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying if Taylor Hall, because he missed 6 games, I believe, they said he'd be probably second in scoring. He'd be over 100 points. Just going by his points per game.
Well, his point streaks were impressive as it was.
Yeah. I think you got to give it to him. I think you got to give it all said and done. I mean, we've talked about this. I just wanted to see what Bryce thought about it. I didn't know it opened can of worms like this.
All said and done.
No, but you did. No, all said and done. But yeah. Have we got anything else to add?
I think we pretty well...
I got a quick question.
All right, go ahead.
Focusing on the teams that didn't make it, out of these 4 teams, the Devils, Avs, Wild, Jackets, do you see any of those teams not being in the playoffs next year?
You think fall
Or
out?
is it just like a one,
So you said Devils, Avs, Jackets, and Wild?
Yeah.
I mean...
Do you see any of those teams taking a step back?
I think Columbus will be there again.
I don't know. Other 3 teams are a toss-up. I mean...
I don't know about Minnesota. I mean, they fired... This actually jumps in the firing their GM. I mean...
Fired their GM, but... I mean, they got Zach Parise, the injury problem guy, and Suter was out with an injury, so who knows how good they'll be next year with those guys back at full strength, but...
Minnesota might be the team that falls out.
I think Minnesota will be the team.
Colorado might be in the playoffs again.
I think Colorado will be in the playoffs again.
Yeah, I mean...
And you said the Devils. Devils will be there again.
With all them young guys getting that experience this year, and I think they'll be there. No, to me, it's the Wild.
I think so, too.
Next year.
I mean, they got rid of a really good general manager, in my opinion. He did a lot of good stuff in Minnesota.
And a lot of their top players aren't young anymore, right?
Well, no.
Mikko Koivu.
Mikko Koivu is a 2-3 guy. He never was an all-star. I mean, the Eric Stahl thing was on a great deal for sure.
But
and the Devin Dubnyk trade too.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's paid.
But like you said, Parise was hurt for a good chunk of the year.
Well,
Ryan Suter
he broke his leg.
That's what I mean. So it's.
I mean, you can't really blame any of the stuff that's happened on the managing, but
no.
I mean, the big contract that Suter's got, and Parise is an injury-prone guy when they signed this big deal. That might have been nails in some coffins, but I mean, he's done some smart stuff.
I'd like to throw another team in there, Flyers, though. Do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they'll be back.
Do you think they'll be back?
I think
if they get some goaltending, they'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, they won't be back.
No.
Or if Peter Mrazek takes the job.
I don't know. I don't know if he was
if he can take it and run with it, then they'll.
They got Nolan Patrick. They got that connect knee.
Yeah, Nolan Patrick's gonna get better.
And Nolan Patrick's
true.
Gonna get
that is true.
And he's a good, he'll kill penalties for you, and he can cover the top guy. And
good two-way player.
Yeah.
I think Philadelphia will be back. Like you said, though, they either need to find goaltending or Mrazek needs to step up.
Yeah.
I believe it was tonight, Flyers should acquire Grubauer from Washington. Is what
or do something like that and send one of those many goalies they have.
Yeah.
Elliott wasn't the guy, and
Neuwirth?
No, he wasn't the guy, and
no, they've had quite the trouble with goaltending the last few years.
Yep. They gotta find the solution, otherwise Hextall's got to get in there himself and put the pads back on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys got anything else to add before we wrap it up.
I mean, Collins have
Matt
another
Cullen.
go around.
He says he's not done.
When he when he won the cup with Pittsburgh, he said he was probably done.
Yeah. But he must still have that hunger to keep
Those
playing.
guys,
Those
yeah.
old guys,
I
right?
think his family said, "Keep going," so he kept going. But
Well, I read a rumor that Yager doesn't want to be done either.
Yeah, I
He
heard
wants to
Yager
make an
wants to come
NHL
back.
comeback too.
Only needs 20 games to be the all-time
Yeah.
games played leader.
sign with Buffalo or something, or a team that Ottawa.
I'll probably just sign like Arizona or something.
Yeah, it's Florida.
Yeah.
Could see him coming back to Florida.
Those guys obviously still love the game, right?
If he
Not
wouldn't have
about the
left,
money anymore.
if he wouldn't have left for the KHL, he would have broke it already.
I think they said there was already there's only 4 or 5 guys left from the 90s. Matt Cullen is one of them. Cullen, Thornton, Marlowe. There's another one. He said it the other
Chara?
night.
Gianna.
Is Char on the?
Longo. Longo was one of them.
Yeah, Luongo.
Char was drafted in the
Yeah,
90s,
Chara's
yeah?
gone.
So he's probably the 5th. Yeah. Because they said 2 of them were playing tonight, and it was Chara and Marlowe.
Technically, Jerome McGinley. He hasn't retired yet.
He's got a minor league deal with Boston.
Oh, really?
I think so. Just to kind of give him a job, I guess. I think he lives in the area, so. Yeah, crazy Matt Cullen. But, I mean, it's been a pretty good show. I mean, grappling. It's not like Ron Wilson there. You gotta get the battles. But it's been a pretty good show here. Let's break it down the first round. Next week we'll wrap up Game 7. Toronto and Boston, but we'll be back again next week here. If you guys want to hit us up on social media, you can hit us up on Facebook, which is now been renamed the Gator Media Hockey Roundtable on Facebook. Twitter and Instagram are still at Gator Media Pod. And we have a merchandising page. Merchandising page where you guys can get some of our cool shirts. And that link will be on the Facebook page. Thanks again to Bryce. I don't know if I gave you an intro or not, but thanks for being on the show, and we'll see you guys all next week.